All right, homesteader family, we're in Florence, Colorado. We just really film a lot because the car show was in a grass area, so pushing his wheelchair through the grass was a bit difficult to do. But I took a little photo or a little video at the end that will be coming up in a week or two. And today I did a little bit. It was on pavement, so it was easier for me to take video. And he was able to see his Studebakers and got some pictures of him in front of them. And for the car show video, of course, I'll put up some pictures in front of the cars and things like that. So I have a lot of stuff to update you guys on. It's been going on to where things are now. When we got to Colorado, there's some of you that don't know, but things didn't quite work out with my aunt. So my aunt moved back to the city, which left me and my grandfather here to take care of business in Colorado. And it's just been crazy days, crazy weather, things like that. Last night we had rains come in, and the temperature actually dropped down to 36 degrees last night. Thought we Right now it's back up to 62 degrees, so it's comfortable. Not super warm with the clouds and the breeze. It's a little bit chillier. That's why I have long sleeve shirt on. That's why my grandfather's got his jacket on, and I got the creek above the pond is completely dried out. The pond still has water going into it from the springs at the top of the pond. And the creek inside the pen where the animals are, of course, I've got the springs there that are pushing water up for them. So everything's good on that front. Now, I've had a major problem at the ranch. I had the feds call me up in state of Colorado, the Colorado State Water Board, and I was told that the pond's illegal and it's $500 a day until it's breached. And they got my information because I paid the taxes on the property last year. And what it turns out, after talking to Jeff, the owner of the ranch, and the water board and the feds and everything like that, when Jeff had the pond put in 12 years ago, he went through a contracting company and they pulled the permits, they did all the drawings and all that. So the pond is not illegal. What it is, I don't want to say for sure, but I'm about 99% sure that the person that called me in was the rancher that I had issues with last year. The rancher that I ran into last year was Rusty. And he threatened to kill my animals because I fenced up 3 acres on the ranch, and that took away land from the cows. And the creek bed, he doesn't have access to that for the cows below where all the natural springs are. But there's a gigantic pond on the property that his cows are drinking out of. A giant pond below me and one above me. So it's not like I did anything except take 3 acres away from his cows for grazing, which there's thousands of acres up there. So I think it's him who's turning me in, because last year he turned me into the county for trespassing on somebody's property. But that was all drawn up and an easement was granted through the person's property. So I dealt with him threatening the animals, threatening with the county over the right of easement, and now I'm having pond issues. But it's not the pond. What was told to the county, the state, and the feds was I put up all these dams and I was retaining all this water and wasn't letting any water through, and it's just been a big disaster. So the feds came out, they did their investigation. I am completely good. But this guy, Rusty, most likely is going to have some problems on his hand now, because the feds found 4 illegal ponds in the area, and they're going to be taking out people's ponds. So those people, we'll find out who did it, which I will too. I'll be going to the county building sometime next week, and I'll be following a FOIA, which is a Freedom of Information Act for those of you that don't know. Anything on public documents, you can request information. They have to give it to you through the Freedom of Information Act that was signed decades ago. So I'll of course file one of those to find out who turned me in. And if it is Rusty causing problems again, I was told that I should go ahead and go see a lawyer and pay the 70 or 90 bucks for a cease and desist order and have that order placed against Rusty. So if he tries to start anything else with me or anything against the ranch or anything happens to my animals or my fence or stuff like that, you know, the law will come back on him because he's been the one that's repeatedly tried to run me out of there like they did back in the 1800s. He just hasn't got it through his head that you can't just run people off their land anymore. You know, there's laws that stop people from doing that. So that's that whole disaster. And so now I know that everything's good. I'm going to be getting goldfish probably tomorrow. I'm going to put more goldfish in the pond just so I have more fish that I can see swimming around. And then once I have the money, I'll buy stock fish, big mouth bass, sunny, crappie, all those different fish so I can fish and do that type of stuff in the pond and go from there. So that's the update on the water situation. Minnie Mouse is starting to show signs that she's pregnant. I'm not 100% sure if she is. I should know within about another week. So the next Sunday, Monday vlog, I'll be able to tell you for sure, because if she is pregnant, she'll be due right about the first to second week of June. So we're still about a month out, somewhere around there. So that will go to that aspect. A couple big things happening at the ranch because of what's going on with Rusty. And I got quotes on fencing now. If I hire a fencing company to fence the ranch, I'm looking at approximately $20,000 to $25,000 in labor. So my thought is, I've talked to a couple of the fence people and they don't think I'll be able to do it by myself without equipment. But I'm going to try my hand at it. So tomorrow when I come back to Canyon, or when I go to Canyon, because I'm in Florence right now, I'm going to be getting a roll of 6-foot no climb horse fence. And it's 220 pound roll of fence. That's going to be what I'm going to try to put up. If I can put it up, this one roll, then I will fence the whole property as I get money, piece by piece, roll by roll. Because with the situation with Rusty, I'm just going to go ahead and fence the whole 50 acres. That will give my animals 50 acres of roaming. It will give my dogs 50 acres of running. And I don't have to worry about anything else because I will have no trespassing signs on all property lines on the fence, so nobody trespass. That will also help stop mountain lions. That will stop coyotes, wolves, bobcats, lynx, because there's not really any trees around the property lines except a few. But I don't think I'll have a problem with the 6-foot fence. So that's one of the big things coming up. I'll be trying to install that. Tomorrow is the deadline for my 1-year warranty on my fruit trees, because out of my 10 fruit trees, only 2 of them came through. Of course, they were damaged last year. They didn't get watered all the way, and we had just horrible weather last summer, or spring, summer, when I first put them in, and that pretty much killed the trees off. So I'll be pulling the trees tonight, loading them up on the trailer, taking them to town tomorrow to Home Depot, swap out the fruit trees, get the new fruit trees. I'm going to pick up some good compost and soil mix and mulch, just a rough cut mulch. The 1 yard down here sells the mulch for $5 a yard if you pick it up. And that way I can put some, build some hugelkultur beds into the base of the fruit tree, and then I'll top everything with mulch to help hold more moisture in. And I'll have those videos coming out. I'll also be going to the rental yard to get an auger bit because I tried digging the holes and it took me about 3.5 hours to dig 1.5 holes, and I've got 10 holes to dig. So getting an auger bit will really help out on that aspect. I'll be able to knock the holes out real easily and put all the trees in tomorrow and get the trees fenced. So these are just some of the things that are happening. Some of the videos that will be coming up for you guys. I'm trying to think. For my house, I've had people asking about my house. I've had a realtor come to the house. They have a client move into Colorado from Indiana the end of June, and the lady is like a hermit, so she thinks the lady will probably be interested in the house. So we will see on that aspect. My realtors had, I think, 4 or 6 people send in responses, but they haven't got back to the realtor after the realtor responded. So it's just time by time. But at this point, with my grandfather being here, I have a house with everything, the fridge, the washer, the dryer. So I'd rather have that right now and the house not sell for another 6 months than the house sell right this minute, and then I've got to scramble to get something all set up at the ranch for me and my grandfather and go from there. So with that, I see I got 2 people watching. If you guys have any questions that I haven't addressed, feel free to drop them in the comment box below, because I'm not sure of any other comments that anybody was interested in. And if not, I'm going to go ahead. I've got the names for the 2 new black goats that I got. And for those of you that don't know how it works, the last names in the bowl are going to be the names of the goats. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a name. And this name will not be one. And this one is Buttons and Patches. I threw that one in there for Mother Goose, because she always wanted buttons every time we do a draw, and she didn't give me those names this time. Alright, we got Oreo and Chocolate Chip. We have Ferris and Fiona. We have George and Ethel. We have Simba and Nala. We have Spooderman and Kit Kat. We have Bambi and Flower. We have Blanks and Barbie. We have Frodo and Bilbo. And the last one. So the names of the new goats are going to be Olaf and Tove. Or Tove. Olaf and Tove. So, if I read that correct, I believe that was Mother Goose's names that she put in. Because Olaf was the snowman in Frozen, and that wasn't what she was talking about. But she finally got her names called. So, good job, Mother Goose. That's the new names of the black and white baby goats that I have. And with that, I'm going to sign out, and we're going to head to the ranch to take care of the animals. So, I hope everybody has a great day. If you have any questions, leave comments, and I'll get to them later.